Welcome back to Good Morning Winter Park right here on Channel 18. Before we get to our next guest, a big thanks to the Village at Winter Park Resort. More than you imagine up there. They got a lot of great activities, great restaurants, and a lot going on, including family movie nights, Coca-Cola movie nights on Friday nights. Pretty awesome setting.
Last one coming up.
Last one is coming up, so pretty awesome setting to watch.
What's the movie?
Huh?
What's the movie?
Well,
Despicable Me.
Got it.
Cool.
Despicable Me, apparently. If you want to check them out, though, winterparkresort.com for all your resort needs. So my next guest inspired me to get 2 shots of espresso before he came on. It's our local historian, Tim Nicklas. You look a little cleaner this time.
Yeah, I got rid of the Jesus look.
Yeah.
Or thug look.
You got more of a summery look to you.
Exactly.
The hair's still getting long, though.
It just gets a little hot with all that fur.
Hey, since you're often known as a fashion trend center locally, I was listening to my morning radio station, it's a Minneapolis station the other day, and mind you, I'm not knocking you too hard here because I'm guilty as well, but they said that cargo shorts have now been ruled as completely out of style. Have you heard that?
I own a couple pair. I'm sticking with
This is the only pair of non-cargos I own, and so my feelings were a little hurt, but I wanted to just really push that. That's what we love about Grand County, is that we don't have fashion up here, that whatever you wear is accepted, you know?
You know, I've got my wallet to put in one pocket. I've got my cell phone to put in the other pocket.
I put this in one pocket sometimes.
Exactly, you know? I mean, the pockets, they're useful.
And for those of us that hike, keep a little TP in one of those pockets, you know?
Yeah.
So anyways, moving along.
Do you pick up your TP?
Huh?
Do you pick up your TP?
Pack it in, pack it out, Tim. That's the motto up here.
Awesome.
You know,
little baggy.
Or else take the Fifth Amendment, because I really don't want to hear about it. So what you are often providing us with some rich history, sometimes some pretty visual, grotesque history, and today I think it's going to be a little more natural and ranch oriented. So
yes.
What do you got for us today?
Well, this is a non-violent ranch.
Okay.
So yeah. So talking Devil's Thumb Ranch, which was an important part of the whole dude ranch history up in Grand County.
And there's a lot of people that know it's fantastic restaurants, a spa. I mean, they have a magical setting for weddings and stuff, but there is a lot more going on to that ranch.
Oh yeah, but you know, in its early days, it wasn't that fancy resort that it is today. It was a true ranch, a working ranch, as well as a guest ranch.
Can you explain to me what the difference between a ranch and a farm is?
Well, a ranch usually has livestock, as opposed to a farm grows produce.
So back in Wisconsin, if you were raising sheep and cows, you're a rancher, not a farmer.
Sure.
In theory.
Exactly.
Okay. So we had sheep growing up and stuff. And
yeah, sheep ranch.
Called it a farm. I never thought of it as a
But
ranch.
the funny thing is, they always call it a pig farm, not a pig ranch. What's up with that?
Yeah, what is up with that?
I was actually thinking
maybe
about
because they
that
don't go out in
the
the
other day.
fields. Maybe they just lay in their own slop and eat your leftovers.
Could be. I think we're digressing here.
Yeah, okay. Back to the point at hand. So when did Devil's Ranch, I mean, what's the history tracking here?
So the history of Devil's Thumb Ranch, of course, it goes much further back than when it was called Devil's Thumb Ranch and as a guest ranch. But when it became a guest ranch was 1940. And previous to that, it was mostly a dairy ranch or dairy farm. There's another one of those nuances. They always call it a dairy farm, not a dairy ranch, right? And they delivered dairy products to Fraser before that. But in 1940, Don and George Yeager purchased 480 acres on Ranch Creek and opened it up as a crude guest ranch. It didn't even have electricity or running water. I mean,
so this is the first start of tourism at Devil's Thumb Ranch.
At Devil's Thumb Ranch, yes. Yes.
And
at that time, Grand County was considered the dude ranch capital of Colorado, and that was a big business back then.
Really?
Huge business. Yeah. So, yeah. And then unfortunately they bought in 1940, and that was bad timing because 1941, the Japanese attack, we get drawn into World War II, and there isn't a lot of room for dude
Tourism
ranches.
isn't a big deal.
It's not really, especially when you can't get gasoline or tires.
Yeah.
So they had to shut it down for a time, and Don and George Yeager went off and fought in the war. George became a fighter pilot.
So they weren't even there to operate it.
No, he was busy flying the skies over Europe. So, so that kind of put a damper on things. Well,
before we go to a break, we do need to talk roughly, why are we talking about Devil's Thumb Ranch? Tim, you're with the Grand County Historical Association.
Yep.
A huge fundraiser coming up, which
Yep.
is called the Taste of History.
Taste of History.
And that'll be held at Devil's Thumb Ranch.
Exactly.
Devil's Thumb Ranch does a wonderful job. They've hosted more fundraisers this year for events with Grand Foundation. I can't remember if Trout Limited was out there. Yeah. It's just wonderful. And so the Taste of History is a big deal coming up.
Yeah.
The
owners of Devil's Thumb Ranch are contributing so much to our community, and we've got to be really grateful for what they're doing. I know I personally am, because this fundraiser could be what keeps our museums open for another year. It adds so much, and to be able to hold it at Devil's Thumb Ranch, we're really fortunate. Never could have seen it coming. Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about Devil's Thumb Ranch, as well as get a little more into detail. What is the Taste of History? When is it? And what's going to go on there? So, is there a website for the Historical Association?
There is, grandcountyhistory.org. And if you're interested in Taste of History, it's very important to go on that website, because that's how you can register and pay for your tickets to go there. On top of that, you can also view silent auction items and actually place bids. So
you can actually bid before. That's wonderful.
You can actually bid before.
Or if you're like my girlfriend, even if you don't attend, she wants to get a few bids in. So make your bids. And once again, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back here chatting with Tim Nicklas with the Grand County Historical Association. We'll be back in a minute. Wah!